saw the new Smurfs movie recently, and it took me somewhere that I don't think I can necessarily entirely return from. A kind of Smurf slime has entered my brain.
What do you think of when you think of the Smurfs?
Probably the 80s cartoon where Gargamel's always failing at his schemes. Here, the comedy of the Smurfs tend to rely on them being easily duped. The Smurfs are true buffoons who outsmart old Garghead because 1, he's also brainless, and 2, they have a kind of divine luck on their side. It's cosmically right that the Smurfs should prosper. The first Smurfs animated series, made in the 1960s, gave the Smurfs some surreality.
Dont la taille peut atteindre de 4 à 6 pouces de haut.
Here, Smurfs interact with objects strangely and traverse expressive and sometimes abstract environments. The texture of the backgrounds and the paper-cut animation of the Smurfs themselves gives them a strange, perfect tactility. They're charming, they're touchable. Less gormless in a world of abstraction and intrigue and mystery. They are unassuming insects in an unknowable black and white expanse where cool jazz plays in perpetuity. And they must prosper. Nothing bad can happen to a Smurf. Cosmic destiny, transmutation, and magic in general are at the heart of the Smurfs universe. Their first appearance was as creators and guardians of a magic flute that makes medieval guys dance crazy. And this is no different in the 2025 movie. In this story, we're also concerned with magic.
4 magic books.
You know, same old, same old. The Smurfs are saying, whoa boys, what's all this magic about? Gotta be careful, magic is pretty serious stuff.
Oh, Smurfs can't do magic.
But this movie has a profound aversion to a lot of what makes magic fun as a concept. But it also has an aversion to making sense in some kind of insane ways that have transcended the standard kids movie blandness I've come to expect from movies like this, and have basically smurfed me into a Smurf. So let's discuss Smurfs 2025.
I look in the sky.
The main thing that's important to know about Smurfs is that Rihanna is Smurfette, and don't you dare forget it.
You know, I love Smurfette, by the way.
For real, me too. I've always loved Smurfette.
She's such an icon. You just put a really good vibe into her.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you.
And whom do you think made custom jewelry for the Smurfs premiere? That's right. Aunt.
This is the moment Taylor Biggs gave Rihanna a friendship ring by Anj. I wanted everything to look very cartoony because, well, it's a Smurfs movie, duh. This is another iconic moment I will never forget.
But the story here concerns No Name, a jobless Smurf played by James Corden, who has no interests or skills that point to his Smurf title.
If my thing is my distinct absence of a thing, I'm actually nothing.
Aww, Papa Smurf doesn't give a fuck about this. He's happy with his insular little life and his mostly properly pigeonholed little Smurfs.
There's Camouflage Smurf.
I'm right here.
Out of Focus Smurf. Clumsy Smurf.
He's content and blankly blissful, living in the village of undulating, voguing Smurfs who love to dance Coco Melon style to the beat. Yeah, I gotta hand it to him, that does seem nice. The film opened with a rushed lore dump about how the Smurfs are tasked with protecting 4 magical books from the evil wizards.
The alliance of evil wizards made it their mission to capture these books.
And immediately after that, this mind-wiping dance scene happens.
Check this out.
There is something instantly, beautifully empty about it, and Papa Smurf is living for that glorious emptiness.
Isn't it grand living in a place where everyone has a thing?
But James Corden Smurf is upset, and we have to hear about that.
Here we go.
I still don't have a thing.
Oh, you stepped in it now, Papa.
Oh, you stepped in it now, Papa.
Smurfette, though, can relate to Smurf identity crises.
It's hard to be the odd Smurf out.
I think I might know a little something about that feeling.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm the only Smurf created out of a block of clay by our mortal enemy, the evil wizard Gargamel, in the hopes of luring all Smurfs to their doom.
Now, I love that Rihanna is Smurfette. That makes me smile. But compare this performance to Demi Lovato's in the 2017 Smurf movie, The Smurfs in the Lost Village, for a second.
Let's all go have some fun.
Yeah!
Demi Smurfette is much more animated, much more person-like in some ways.
I'd prefer it if you just called me Papa.
I'm
would never call you that.
Unusual, perhaps, for Smurfette, given that Katy Perry played her in the 2011 Smurfs movie and its sequel as a kind of coy, ditzy, brainlessly childlike Smurf woman.
How do you like my new dress? Whoa, is there a draft in here?
That's not really a criticism of her performance, given that it is very much in keeping with Smurfette's existing character.
Boo-hoo! Oh, boo-hoo-hoo! I suffered all night in the hideous forest, lost and alone. Throw me out of the village. Abandon me in the forest.
But it's something I always found grating about the Smurfs, and while Katy Perry's shiny, happy, ultra-girly Smurfette makes perfect sense for the character, it was nice to have, you know, an actor there doing some acting, kind of making Smurfette feel like a person a little bit.
I can do that. I can grouch.
There she is. She has thoughts. Rihanna has neither the kids' TV presenter gormlessness of Perry nor the animated, energetic ways of Lovato. She has more of a chill, relaxed feel.
Oh, you stepped in it now, Papa.
While many of her lines feel extremely read from the script, I think her laid-back performance does lend itself well to some cute moments with her dear friend James Corden Smurf.
I cherish us.
I cherish us too.
Mostly, though, her line reads are iconically distant.
Well, joke's on you, because I like being called an amateur.
She's kind of just going through the motions, which makes her more earnest moments with the jobless Smurf feel more pronounced. These Smurfs really like each other. You know, good for them. Anyway, shut up, everyone. James Corden is going to sing a ballad.
Who am I? Where do I belong?
Yes, this is the first song in this movie, and there are songs in this movie. You won't remember any of them, but you'll know that they were there. And you'll know that you heard the beautiful voice of James Corden on this blessed day.
I'm always on the outside looking in.
You're welcome. This is one of those movies that has songs of such little consequence and swag that you'll forget they were there at all. Like, guys, you made one good song. Rihanna released that thing as a single. I hear it in the gym when I'm desperately trying to do 15-pound bicep curls and my arms are snapping like twigs, but what you forgot to do was write a single other catchy song. I don't think the songs here are bad. I mean, here I am, I'm watching James Corden Smurf walk around the woods and sing a tragic Sam Smith-style ballad about being so sad he doesn't have a trait he can base his entire identity around. A thing already well established, by the way, so this song doesn't progress the narrative. Of course it doesn't. It's just watching a Smurf walk slowly across a boring landscape. And I'm thinking, okay, I get it. You wish you were trolls. You wish you had Justin Timberlake, or Anna Kendrick, or Rachel Bloom, or Glozell.
I'm in the movie. I know. I'm you're my grandmother.
Yes! But you don't, okay? You can't be trolls, and quite frankly, you didn't put in the effort. You just gave James Corden a ballad, and I don't know why you did that. So we've established sad loser Smurf, who incidentally does have a particular thing he wants to do. This baby boy wants to do magic.
We don't have a magic Smurf around here. Maybe that could be my thing.
Fortunately, a magic book was strolling through the forest at this very moment and heard this desperate song. James Corden Smurf is like, oh, I wish I had my own thing. And the book seems to imbue him with crazy powers. Wow. He shows his magic stuff to Papa Smurf, who doesn't like it.
What are you talking about?
Because, as it turns out, it instantly attracts an evil wizard. Ugh, God, not again. This can't keep happening in the Smurf village. This is Razamel, Gargamel's brother. He's the antagonist of this movie for some reason. We're over Gargamel. It's time for Gargamel 2. Short little baby boy Gargamel. Short king, short little guy. Short, tiny little guy Gargamel. It turns out the Papa Smurf knew all about the risk of this sort of thing happening, but kept the Smurfs oblivious. While he's getting abducted by Razamel, he tells all the Smurfs to find Ken.
Find Ken!
The Smurfs are like, what are you talking about, Papa? Who the fuck is Ken? In mere moments, though, the Smurfs have found a record that they can spin to take them to Ken. Here's a record, Ken's name is on it, the Smurfs place that on a gramophone, and the gramophone opens up a portal. It's just one of the ways you can travel. Don't worry about it. Just listen to the song and try to feel good.
We've been waiting for it, and today is that day. Yeah.
The Smurfs are on their way. They travel to real, actual Paris, where there's real people and stuff. And it takes me back to the gorgeous, real-life world of the 2011 and 2013 Smurfs movies. I wish Jayma Mays was here. Jayma Mays, you are my icon. Jayma Mays. Jayma Mays. I'm waiting for you. She was born to play the human adopted mother of all of the Smurfs. I've never seen a woman giving off more human adopted mother of all the Smurfs energy. She is literally Smurf mother.
You can be anything you want to be.
In this movie, the real world of human actors is more of an interstitial, abstract world that the Smurfs enter just for traveling. They're not really here as much as it's just the distant background of transitional scenes, and I think it's one of the most stylistically fun things in the movie. Like, it's pretty funny. The Smurfs are real. They're in France. They're in Germany. They're global. They're in Munich, where there's actually an art center that named itself after one of my paintings, used one of my paintings on a banner, didn't pay me, didn't talk to me, just kind of did that. So that's funny. That's my one association with Munich. So the people of Munich, you better behave. You are not on my good side, boys. Back to Smurfs, what's really important. Razamel gets on a Zoom call with the other evil wizards, and they talk about how they need to find the fourth book to be able to do evil stuff properly. And I want to ask, what's the use of the other 3 books here? Are they useful on their own? Or are they just completely, doesn't matter, you need all 4? What's going on? Hey, what's happening? It seems like the latter, but again, we're confronted with the beautiful emptiness of the concept. The book is a true MacGuffin. You could replace it with almost any object.
We can't link our 4 books together, erase all goodness and shroud the universe in a cloud of dark magic forever if we only have 3 books!
You know, Razamel needs a magical donglet to unlock his bonglet or something. That's what it feels like at every book plot moment. It's word salad to me. I'm zoning completely out of consciousness. You're saying magical book. I'm hearing boobity boop boop. Boop. Besides the fact that we inexplicably have Razamel as a villain, a thing I don't mind because the Gargamel-Razamel dynamic is quite fun to watch.
Fine, I blocked you.
You blocked me?
The overall plot is just so textureless. You know, like, what's going on? I feel like a little baby fresh out of the womb watching this. I just feel tiny. I enjoy that Razamel has a podcast.
My podcast microphones are set up in the Zoom room, Joel.
Awesome. The Smurfs should mention having had COVID, I think. They should have a scene where they all get the COVID vaccine.
Voilà, c'était plus important, c'est pas grave, le coronavirus,
c'est rien.
Après, c'est rien.
On passera à autre chose.
On risque rien, on est des schtroumpfs.
Voilà, on va schtroumpfer le coronavirus.
In this movie, Razamel's motivation is just that he wants to take over the world and be evil. Like, there's no real sense of what that even means. It's just that Razamel wants control over the universe via these books. What that control looks like, we get no idea of whatsoever. Now, I don't mind a villain being motivated by just loving evil straight up, but having a total lack of vision of what the stakes actually are, what the evil regime actually looks like, really undermines and flattens the vague evil guy motivation. Like, okay, so the universe is Razameld. Who cares? What's so bad about it? I don't know, you guys. Maybe it's cool. It's working with these very abstract ideas. We see Razamel sucking up the goodness out of the Smurfs, but like, what does that even mean? It seems like the Smurfs are just absorbed into a void, and I have no idea how that's helping Razamel. What does sucking up the pure essences of Smurfs do for you, little bro? I'm gonna take a small detour here to talk about Gargamel's motivations across the Smurf canon. Why does he do all that stuff? We'll return to Smurfs 2025, but I need to talk to you about my big bald boy. Gargamel, across Smurfs media, is often motivated by the simple desire to destroy the Smurfs' happiness.
There's happiness in my forest, and I hate it! Cut out that happiness!
But his original motivation is that he wants to make a philosopher's stone, which requires Smurf bodies as an ingredient.
On y fera dissoudre un petit schtroumpf. Cette formule est celle de la pierre philosophale qui permet de changer les métaux en or. Eh bien, moi, sorcier Gargamel, je vais réaliser cette formule.
So he's not hunting those Smurfs just for the sake of it. He's trying to beat death. He's trying to live. The 2011 Smurfs movie takes this motivation in a really interesting direction, or at least starts to. So in this movie, Hank Azaria plays a startlingly sexy Gargamel.
I am not obsessed with Smurfs, thank you.
I like his cartoon teeth, I love his bushy eyebrows, and I enjoy his bald cap. There's something elevated about this Gargamel. I don't know, I love him. Gargamel goes to New York to chase after Smurfs, and he ends up at Neil Patrick Harris's workplace, the makeup company, where he impresses the boss by casting some kind of snatched spell on her mother.
Dios mío, mamá!
This freakish interaction allows him to schmooze the boss for a while, and for a moment I was thinking, wow, the Smurfs movie is really connecting Gargamel's desire for eternal life to the beauty industry's worship of impossible eternal youth.
Anti-aging cream can make any woman look beautiful, young, vibrant. It's almost magical.
Astonishing, really.
It's really drawing parallels between the fruitless obsession with anti-aging, propelled by corporate interest at the expense of women's innocence and joy, and the impossible pursuit of immortality at the expense of the lives of some cute little guys, via Gargamel turning an older lady into a youthful booby queen with his sinister magic. That's kind of awesome. But sadly, I must have been more excited about this storyline than the movie was, because we soon move on, Gargamel gets back to pure Smurf hunting, and Neil Patrick Harris weeps deliriously about his new adopted Smurf family as they pile on top of him. Plus, one Smurf falls in love with a green M&M.
Whoa, hello.
There's a lot going on in this movie. In the 2025 movie, Razamel interrogates Papa Smurf, sure he knows where the fourth book is.
Oh, look how upset he gets. Don't worry, I'll get you to talk.
Gargamel gets sucked up into Razamel's castle so they can have some bro time.
All goodness shall be eradicated forevermore. Sounds amazing.
And the Smurfs interact with real living dogs.
I don't think they speak Smurf.
That's scary, actually. Get out of there, Smurfs. Get out of there. Then they meet some city Smurfs and navigate the club. What's playing in the club? That's right, it's a Rihanna moment. I very much enjoy a self-referential pop woman Smurfette experience, but I have to say that Demi Lovato Smurfette once again clears it, because in her movie, she literally dies.
This is what she once was.
Sings a big melodramatic ballad.
Love is all I need.
And then comes to life 2 seconds later and says, "Don't even worry about it, boys. I'm Smurfette and I'm more alive than ever.
I'm right here."
That's cinema. Anyway, the Smurfs meet Ken at the back of the club. He's Papa Smurf's brother. He's like Papa Smurf, but ginger, and he's a gruff and tough little bloke.
You Smurfs don't know Smurf about Smurf.
He tells the Smurfs some stuff they already know.
This is the handiwork of the evil wizard Razamel.
Says some cryptic, mean things about Papa.
But your Papa walked away.
And they hit the road, where they meet a bunch of puffballs. New character alert, boys. New character spotted. New character just loaded in. This is my favorite character. Her name is Mama Poot. These are the Snooter Poots. They're just some extra little guys who are here. Don't pay any attention to them. They don't matter. Natasha Lyonne is Mama Poot, which could be important to you.
When Papa Smurf gets captured, she's the go-to mama to get him out.
All these creatures talk about what the evil wizards want to be evil.
These wizards have one goal in mind: to rule the world with evil.
And James Corden Smurf just starts freaking out. He starts hyperventilating, puking, crying. Fortunately, Smurfette is the rock that holds these flimsy Smurfs together, and she simply tackles him to the ground. And then, of course, she sings an inspiring song about believing in your Smurf.
Don't ever let anyone say that anyone.
They dance in the sky for this, and as much as that looks pleasant, it's another example of deeply boring staging. They're swirling in the featureless sky, and it's like, why? Why not incorporate your songs into the movie in a way that gives us a sense of place? Why not have a visual connection to the narrative instead of an empty void world that we enter during songs? Maybe this is why people decide they hate musicals, a claim I struggle to totally believe. Sorry, Charlie XCX.
I really hate musicals.
I just don't believe you. What about Company?
Bobby, come on over for dinner. We'll be so glad to see you.
What about Meet Me in St. Louis?
Wop, 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 went the wheel.
Starlight Express. Fiddler on the Roof. Jesus Christ Superstar.
You are the Christ, you're the great Jesus Christ.
Shrek the Musical.
Are you there, God? It's me, Fiona.
You don't like none of that? Not a bit of it? Come on. You don't like Wonka?
We'll go bust! Chocopocalypse!
I don't believe you. That's not true. No Name calms down, and in the meantime, the other Smurfs have been stolen away.
Razamel took 2 of my snooter poots and the rest of you Smurfs.
So Big Mama Poot, obviously, drives the 2 of them directly to Munich, where Razamel's castle is. Meanwhile, Gargamel is enjoying being annoying.
Oh, look, he hates this.
Little do they know that 2 free Smurfs and a puffball woman are sneaking into the castle at this very moment via a delivery driver. And again, I love the creative direction here. The brief glimpses of a reality with some Smurfs plopped in. Smurfette eats all the fries because she's hungry. She's hungry.
You ate all the fries!
I love salty potato-based treats, and I will not apologize for that.
And for a moment, I'm transported back to the beautiful dream world we once lived in, where Jennifer Lawrence loved pizza full quirky style.
Where's the pizza?
Before we all decided that was a crime. So here are 2 Smurfs and Puffball arrive to save the other useless Smurfs. James Corden Smurf says,
"Deal with my awesomeness."
Classic line. And the book appears. Its name is Jaunty Grimoire, by the way.
Jaunty Grimoire!
I don't think I've mentioned that, but the book has a name and it's Jaunty Grimoire. I don't really like that. I think it should be called Booklington or Booklina or something. Bookran, Booktifer. Booksica. It turns out that the book essentially lived undetected under No Name's hat since hearing him wish for magic powers in the woods and imbued magical powers unto him during that time.
Were you doing the magic?
Yeah, kinda.
So now No Name's really sad.
There's no such thing as a magic Smurf.
Oh, I'm not a magic Smurf. I guess I'll have to kill myself. But No Name, as we know, can be brought back to optimal mental health by seemingly any pep talk. So after a few encouraging words from the magical book,
You got a lot more magic in you than you think. You just gotta let it out.
he's back in business. But oh fuck, oh shit, Razamel takes the book and makes it evil.
I wanna stay with Papa! Papa!
Since Razamel now has exactly what he needs, he drops all pretense and shuns Gargamel to go to the Wizard Council alone.
I'm not going with you.
To meet with the other wizards? That's a big fat no.
Shove the other wizards into a water bottle, and take all the magic books for himself. I find it strange that there's no friction to this. This was just easy for a single wizard to do the whole time. Just grab all 4 books and say, nope, the wizard collective is over. These are mine. These guys didn't think they should have safeguards for protecting themselves against hostile takeover in a group called the Evil Wizards? I would have been so much better at running the Evil Wizards Council. God fucking damn it. Gargamel, mad at not being included, immediately frees the Smurfs and drives them directly to Razamel to get him.
In the water bottle you go. Now!
But not before Papa Smurf gives us another juicy lore dump. We learn that Papa Smurf kept the wizard book stuff secret because his other brother, sexy blonde Ron,
I love you, brother.
was sucked up by Razamel years ago. And I guess the trauma was too much, so he just didn't speak of it.
I couldn't lose any if you like we lost Ron.
There isn't a day goes by that I don't think about him.
Smurfs are, Papa explains, guardianeers of good.
We Smurfs are guardianeers of good.
Who have the cosmic task of protecting peace and harmony in the universe.
We have always been protectors of peace and harmony in the universe.
I love how unwieldy and vague this is. Like, what are the duties involved in such a task? It's funny that the movie is about No Name finding his thing, while the thing of the Smurfs as a collective is so undefined. They're just beings of goodness. That's it. Nothing more to it. They're just good little guys. But actually, this is sort of the point. Because Papa Smurf will tell us in a few minutes that the strength of Smurfs is not just in their individual specializations, but moreover in their combined power as a group.
It isn't who you are, it's who we are. It's the sum of all its parts.
Papa Smurf said, "What job are you doing in the commune? Are you shit shoveling, Smurf? I think you might be." Razamel gets to sucking up the good souls of Smurfs. Smurfette pretends to be evil for a second and then bonks him on the nose to steal the book away from him.
I finally delivered everything you wanted, your evil lordship. Thank
And they begin a chase through different universes with different art styles. Woo! They run through Clay World, Notebook World, Video Game World, become anime, and then plop out in Smurf Village.
Smurf Village?
Only, that's not Smurf Village. It's some kind of surreal dream universe. And Razamel again grabs the book. This sends James Corden into another spiral, and so he receives yet another pep talk, this time from Dear Papa Smurf.
You're kind and fair.
He's like, actually, you remind me so much of my sexy brother Ron.
You remind me a lot of Ron.
You were kind of just like sexy Ron when I just think about it for a second. And No Name is like, yeah. Okay.
I know who I am.
So he starts emitting a magical beam, classic move. He says, I'm the Smurf who's gonna kick your big giant butt, Smurf.
I'm the Smurf who's gonna kick your big giant butt, Smurf.
And the Smurfs all basically re-emerge through the sheer power of No Name's confidence. He does some wacky moves. They kick Razamel into the tardigrade universe. And Smurfette takes a moment to reassert her identity as a real, actual, good, authentic, non-evil Smurf.
Who I am is up to me. I decide. I am a Smurf.
I am a Smurf. Girl, do you have to remind the Smurfs every 2 seconds that you're not evil? Are the Smurfs capable of forgiveness? Will the Smurfs ever move on? Like, I get it. She was made by Gargamel and she used to have black hair. But she's blonde now. We turned her blonde. She's a good blonde woman. Give her a break. Also, Ron's here now. Yay.
Did somebody say Ron? It's Ron!
He dropped out of the portal that they kicked Razamel into. I guess he was trapped in some universe, but who cares? Ron's here, everyone. Woo! Ron. 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 The Smurfs all hold hands, which makes the magical books not be evil anymore. Smurfette enjoys another French fry.
Ooh.
And they all finally go home where they can stop thinking.
What do you say we get out of here and head back home? Where life is good and things don't crunch our brains so much.
We end with, obviously, a dance sequence.
Keep it high, that vibration, live or die.
And that's Smurfs. That's it. That's the Smurfs movie. I've talked a lot about the emptiness of this movie, its disconnected plot, its lackluster character motivations, and its Ron and Ken. Who are these men? But let's talk about Smurfs in a wider sense. The Smurfs are a sort of brainless creature. I remember watching reruns of the 1980s cartoon growing up, and it was a cartoon that I sort of dreaded because the jokes are so one note.
What he needs is a good smurfing.
The Smurfs are simplistic and often irritating stereotypes. I hate to see clumsy coming.
Guys!
There's that Smurf who's always hating.
I hate Gargamel. I hate surprises. I hate clumsy Smurfs.
It just gets very old very fast. Even the comics can be grating to read because the main joke in absolutely all of them is replacing normal words with the word Smurf. Oh, Smurf, I'll find out what he's smurfing up. Smurf yourself. Obviously, this has some appeal to young children who have inhuman stamina for repetition, like that's probably the peak fortitude of the human spirit at age 5, ready to hear the word Smurf in place of every noun and verb imaginable, and to even enjoy it? We don't give kids enough props for that. Adults can barely handle the iconic surrealist toilet series Skibbity Toilet. Strengthen your minds, people. The point is, Smurfs have a long legacy of being bottom of the barrel, and it's the iterations on an at-birth, not that interesting concept like the Smurfs that I find compelling, because there are some interesting things that have gone on in Smurf canon over the years. Smurfs were around for 8 full years before Smurfette existed. Dick and balls everywhere. By the way, they do have balls canonically.
Yeah, that cools the giblets.
They have genitals, they have balls. Their early animations have them dealing with an evil magic egg, a goofy dragon, and a disease that makes them bite each other. And you get a really fairy tale-like sense of the specifics of the sort of magic that intrudes upon their lives. It's silly, but it has this sinister, mystical sensibility to it. When the 1981 animation was produced, we entered the tradition of Smurfette as main Smurf. The first episode of the show is about Smurfette's creation.
This magical lump of blue clay will become the first female Smurf.
A beautiful but evil Smurf.
And all of the modern Smurfs movies put her at the center, sloughing off some of the original misogyny. Did you know that in the comic, the Smurfs try to instill an eating disorder in Smurfette because they hate her so much, because all she does is whine and cry and nag, and then Papa Smurf gives her blonde hair and they all forget about hating her because they suddenly find her attractive? It's so nasty. Here's what Gargamel says the ingredients are for making a Smurfette. A sprig of flirtatiousness, a solid layer of non-objectivity, 3 crocodile tears, a bird brain, powder of viper's tongue, a carrot of sneakiness, a handful of anger, a dash of lying tissue, transparent of course, a bushel of greediness, a quart of bad faith, 1 thimbleful of recklessness, a stroke of pride, pint of envy, some zest of sensitivity, a bit of foolishness, and a bit of cunning. Lots of volatility and lots of obstinacy. A candle burned at both ends. Hateful. What I find interesting is that only one of the Smurfs movies explores Smurfette's feelings about being the only female Smurf. In the 2017 movie Smurfs: The Lost Village, Demi Lovato Smurfette meets an entire community of Smurf women.
You're a girl. She's a girl.
They live a life of bliss and don't know who Gargamel is.
What?
Gargagug? Gargagool? Gabagool? Who is that? They're somewhat suspicious of Smurfette and the boy Smurfs.
Look at that one. Huh? He can't be normal.
And Smurfette realizes that she loves having other women in her life.
Come on, let's start thinking about heading home.
But
It is, yes, another movie about Smurfette finding her place and feeling secure in her Smurf identity, but this is the only Smurf movie that examines Smurfette's position as the woman Smurf. Here we get a simple, easy assertion from the other Smurfs that she's an individual, not defined solely by her womanness.
Smurfette's name doesn't tell us anything about her.
To the importance of feeling connected to other women. And I think it's so cute and fun and oddly understated.
Papa? There's another funny word. Papa! Papa! Papa!
Also, literally, Mandy Patinkin is Papa Smurf.
And then there's me, Papa Smurf.
I want to wish everyone a very happy Global Smurf Day.
By the way, have any of you guys seen Yentl? That movie's about how he gets his ass out. He gets it right out.
There's no chill, and yet I shiver.
I do enjoy the progression from annoying, loathable cartoon Smurfette to Katy Perry's similar but less severe Smurfette, to earnest, capable Demi Smurfette, and finally to chill Rihanna Smurfette.
For Smurfette's voice, I was super inspired by all the women around me.
Rihanna's laid-back, French fry gobbling Smurfette feels like a natural step, but the obvious crime is that she's the co-protagonist to an attempt at an everyman Smurf. The ultimate bland choice.
Giant butt Smurf?
Smurfette didn't even let out a big fart at any point in the movie. Not even one. That said, I enjoyed the botched qualities of Smurfs 2025. I like the underperformed Rihanna line reads because they're funny.
I'm with him and them.
I like the extreme thoughtlessness and emptiness of plot elements because they make you start to feel a little bit insane.
I don't want to be evil.
I like the strangely featureless and slightly too long dance sequences because they add to this overall sense of disconnection. All these elements took me into this wonderful, trance-like state. I felt, in the cinema, mindlessly shoveling popcorn into my face, that I was a sort of hollow vessel for those Smurfs. I was blank and barely there in my own body, ready to receive the Smurf doctrine. Like, yeah, that's Gargamel's brother Razamel. He calls the Smurfs degenerate goblins.
Degenerate goblins?
Yeah, that's the Wizard's Council, bro. They need to unite the 4 magic books, dude. Obviously. Yeah, Papa Smurf has 2 brothers and they both have normal guy names, and one brother made love to this fuzzy ball. Who am I to argue with such things? These are the Smurfs. They have not one thought in their little minds, and neither do I.